Guys, so today's video is about how to raise responsible children, how to raise your child to be responsible and you grow up to become a responsible adult in society. Alright, so every time we hear about my child is not responsible, my child does not like to do this, my child, you will tell him to do this and he won't do it, he won't do his chores, he won't greet his neighbors, he won't do this, he won't do that, all sorts of complaints. Yeah. Okay, the truth is that children are naturally wired. They are naturally wired to be irresponsible. They are naturally wired to be responsible. And I will explain this to you in a minute. Okay, just take a scenario. A child is usually all his life, they've been served. Everything they've wanted, they get it. They will cry, you bring food. They will cry again, you bring toy. They will cry again. So all their life, they've been given everything that they wanted. An average child is narcissistic, is selfish, doesn't care about you, doesn't care about other people, just cares about himself. Once you can satisfy that primary need, an average child is narcissistic, is selfish, doesn't care about you, doesn't care about other people, just cares about himself. Once you can satisfy that primary need of his, that primary need of his, then you're good to go. All the child wants is just give me my toy, give me this, give me that, give me that. But when it comes to him doing something for the good of others, they are not budged. Alright, children are naturally wired to be responsible because all their life they have been at the center of everything. When the child cries, everybody runs towards the child and say, who beat you, who did this, who did. So they've always had the center of attraction. They've always been the center. So it's kind of strange for them to, be the one to offer responsibility to other people. Alright, so when we talk about responsibility, there are actually two types of responsibility. Now there's the first responsibility that deals with doing chores, what the child should do at a particular age, right? And then there's the type of responsibility that comes with cooperating with others, greeting people, having a good behavior, and all other, societal norms that are expected of a particular child at a particular age. Alright, so a child does not grow to become responsible. You don't just say, don't worry, he's still a child. When he grows up, he will now become responsible. No, it doesn't work. You have to teach it. It's your job as the parent to teach your child to be responsible. The key word there is teach. And that is what I'm going to be showing you how to do in this video. I'm going to be showing you how to teach responsibility to your child, how to imbibe that character so that your child can become really, really, really responsible. Are you good to go? So I'm going to give you 3 pointers that will help you teach responsibility to your child. Alright, the first pointer is you should create an avenue for responsibility. Create an avenue. You don't just tell a child to be responsible. Be responsible. You are so irresponsible. Be responsible for once in your life. You have to create an avenue for them to show that responsibility, for them to practice that responsibility. For example, you can maybe set a toy, or rather, set a schedule in your home and say, okay, Emeka, you are to wash your plate early in the morning. You are to do this in the afternoon. You are to take away your plates. Give them a set of instructions. And then make sure that they do it. I'm going to be going down more on this point later in this video. But the point is, you have to set the atmosphere for them to now be responsible. You don't just say, be responsible now. After all, you're supposed to be responsible. You have to teach your child to be responsible. Alright, so the second step is to teach your child thinking skills. You see, one thing that is void of today's world is that very few people think before they act in this world. It has become sort of something that we see all the time. Excuse me. Something that we see all the time, that people no longer think before they act. Majority of adults don't even think before they act. But when you can teach your child thinking skills, when you can teach your child how to think before they act, then you've already cut responsibility drama into half, and I'll show you how to teach it right now. Okay, so the thinking skills, there is a three-step process to teaching your child thinking skills. There is a sequence. So it's thought, action, and consequence. All right, before you do something, think about it. Then think about the action that you are trying to take. Think about the action, and then think about the consequence. All right. So let's say that your child, somebody insults him outside and he wants to fight. Okay, and now he thinks about fighting as a verb, as a doing. Okay, fighting means hitting somebody. Maybe you can even injure the person. All right, and then you think about it. All right, the action that you are trying to take. What is it going to do to this other person? Okay, it's actually I'm going to hit the person, and maybe I'll bruise his face or one thing or the other. And I think about the consequence. Okay, what if I hit this person and I hit his nose and he stops breathing? Or what if I hit him and he stops becoming friends and he stops being friends with me? Or what if I hit him and he goes blind? That is the consequence. And when the child has gone through this three-step process, you will now see that you will say, okay, I don't want to kill this person just yet. I don't want to injure this person deadly, so let me not bother fighting in the very first place. Alright, but many people, first of all, fight before they think about the consequences. So if you can teach your child how to follow this three-step process, this thought, action, and consequence, when you identify the urge, when somebody gets you annoyed or when you want to do something, you are already having the urge, the feeling. So you've identified the urge. Alright, then the second thing you do is to consider the action that you're going to take. So let's just for example that somebody slapped your child, right? And then they have the urge to slap the hell out of that person back, alright? They are now having the urge. They've identified that this urge right now is for them to slap this person. And then they consider the action that they're going to take. If I slap this person now, what could come out of it? What will happen? That is when they are now thinking about the consequence. Okay, if I slap this person now, I might hit his eye mistakenly. What will I say? What will the consequences of hitting somebody's eye be? Or maybe I will lose this person as a friend. Or maybe something will happen or something else will happen. Alright? When the child is going through this process, the child will never go wrong because he's following due process. He's thinking about his actions before taking the action. That is the number one rule of being responsible, because everything you do has a consequence. It could either be positive or negative. So when you can teach your child the thinking skills, alright, if you can teach your child thinking skills, then more than half of responsibility is already imbibed in him, alright. So the third framework in this is to develop a set of reasonable expectations. Yes, developing a set of reasonable expectations. Now, many parents make the mistake of creating a whole lot of expectations in their head that the child should overcome. And you see a parent that wants his child to master. Okay, you see the parent has a 3-year-old, and the parent wants his child to be able to know all the names of all the countries in the world. For crying out loud, how is a 3-year-old expected to know the names of all the countries in the world? Or you expect a 3-year-old to be able to organize his room, sweep the floor, dust the TV, and all sort of imaginations in your head, expectations. And when the child cannot do such, they come up with he's not responsible, he's this, he's that. Alright, the problem is from the parents. You have to create a reasonable set of expectations with your child. You should know that for a 3-year-old, they are still just getting to start using their cognitive mind. So you should give them little tasks such as picking your clothes from the floor, or maybe taking away your plate after eating. All these small things that you can praise them for, that will help the child to keep on trying to do other things that will please you, so that you can keep praising him. Alright, now you should learn how to create reasonable expectations for your child. Check out what you know that this child can do, what you know that he should know how to do, teach it, and then put a reward at the back so that when a child wants to do it, they have a reason for doing it. This also applies to the first thing I talked about, which was the creating an avenue for responsibility. All right. So, what do you do when your child refuses to be responsible? So let's just say that you've taught him everything he should do. You've told him, okay, see, you have to wake up in the morning, dress your bed, dress your siblings, wash your clothes, and all that. All right. What do you do when they don't still adhere to what you say? What do you do? All right. I'm going to give you guidelines. All right. But first of all, I want to debunk something. Now, many parents would usually go for punishment. You say punishment does this, punishment does that. And when I punish him, if I flog the hell out of that boy today, he will not try it again. It doesn't work. What punishment does is it aggravates the situation. It removes the focus from the main point, from the action itself that was wrong, and puts it in another thing altogether. Let me explain. For example, let's say that you want to flog your child. Let's say that your child didn't wash plates, and then you come back from work and you saw the plates in the kitchen, and you bring cane. You say, you didn't wash plates. After flogging, now the child is not sorry for not washing the plates. The child is angry that you flogged him. Alright, and if tomorrow he decides to wash that plate, he's not washing the plate because he's supposed to wash plates. He's washing the plates because if he doesn't wash it, you're going to come back and flog him. Now, you might say yes now, so that he will use because he doesn't want me to flog him, and you will not wash the plate. So think about this. What will happen when you are no longer in the picture? What will happen when they've outgrown, you shouting at them? What will happen when they become adults and then you come to their home, since there's nobody else to flog him? What will happen when you come to their home and you go to the kitchen and the plates are unwashed? Will you still flog him? Let's say that he's now an adult, he's like 20, 22 years. Will you still flog him when you come to his home and then you see that he has not still washed his plates? Will you still flog him? Alright? The thing is that you've removed the focus from teaching into trying to gratify your own sense of self. Alright, what you should be focused on as the parent is always to teach. So, discipline, flogging, punishment, kneel down, that, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, honestly. There are so many discipline strategies that you can employ that to help your child do what you teach your child, what you want them to do. Teach them, like really, really teach them, so that even in your absence, they can do that you want them to do. Alright, but that is not the focus of today's video. We're talking about raising responsible children. We're not talking about discipline. So what can you do? I'll give you 3 strategies that you can use. Alright, number 1 is for you to create pre-agreed consequences. Pre-agreed consequences. How you do this is by, let's say that when you tell your child, okay, you should be able to wash plates. Wash all the plates before I come back, or maybe before I come back in the evening. And then you say something like, if you don't wash it, what do you want to happen? Okay, let's say that your child likes playing video games, and you say, if I come back and you haven't washed the plates, what I will do is that I will take away your video game. I'll take away your video game, and you won't play it for 2 days max. Alright, and then the child agrees and says, okay mom, if I don't wash these plates, take away my video game. You can even be dramatic about it and get a contract and sign it, whatever works for you. Yeah. So create a pre-agreed consequence so that your child will actually know what he's getting into, and when exactly he doesn't wash the plates and then you come back and take away his video game, he won't actually complain, because he actually knows that I brought this upon myself. I knew this beforehand, so let me fuck up. Let me make the mistake. All right. They don't now hate you for doing it. They now punish themselves and say, I deserve it. I didn't watch this. So when next time they don't want their video game to be taken away, they actually do it. Or maybe you find a privilege that your child enjoys and put it on the table and say, if you don't do this, this is going to go for a period of time. Don't say indefinitely. You go for a period of time, and then when you put in that consequence, have a deal and stay on it. The problem with so many people is that we don't know how to stick to our words. We don't know how to stick to our words. Maybe you will say, "I will do this today," and then when after the child misbehaves, and then you want to do it, the child starts crying and begging you, and you have a change of heart. If you have a change of heart immediately, what will happen? What will happen is that the next time the child is going to repeat that thing, and the child will no longer take your word for it because you've already failed on your promise the last time. All right, so you should make sure that your word is your bond and you stick to it no matter whatever gimmick that the child tries to pull. All right, now the second thing you can do is to create a reward system. Create a reward system. Children love reward, they love praises. Now, rewards doesn't mean that you have to go and buy all the toys in the market, or you have to go and be spending money saying that you are rewarding your child. No, a reward can be as simple as a pat on the back, or extra 30 minutes before bedtime, or extra 1 minute when eating. A reward can be anything. Alright, children love rewards. When you reward a child for doing something right, the next thing that he will do is to try to do another thing right so that you can reward him. Alright, so try a reward system. It really works. That is after you must have taught your child how to be responsible. That is when you now put in the reward system to cement it. Alright, now the next thing you can do, the next strategy I'm going to tell you right now, is to have what we call town hall meetings. It's also called family meetings. All right. You see, when you bring family meetings into the mix, it gives the child a sense of belonging. It gives the child a sense of, this is not just about me. It's about the whole family. It's about every one of us. All right. So this is not just mommy being wicked to me and telling me to do this. This is just about the good of the family. All right. So have the meetings in full. Decide on the chores. And then, let's say, for example, that the child defaulted in a particular responsibility that he was supposed to do, but he didn't do it. Call a town hall meeting, address the situation in front of the whole family, let everybody see for themselves, let everybody put mouth, let everybody say, this what you did is wrong, you are going to face this social punishment and this and that. The child is no longer going to see it as personal, but is going to see it as something that affects the whole family. Alright, so let me run it back before I end this video. The 3-step process is for you to create an avenue for responsibility for your child. Create an avenue. You have to actually teach them. If you know what they should be doing at that age, teach them. Say, you have to be doing this. Okay, do this today. Tomorrow you will do it by so time. Create an avenue for responsibility. The second thing is to teach your child thinking skills. Teach him thinking skills so that he can be able to think for himself and for others too. Alright, teach him thinking skills so that he can be responsible. When somebody sees and say, this boy is responsible, he has sense, he does this, he does that. This is what thinking skill can do. Once you can think about your consequence before taking action, then everything is solved. Alright, then the next thing is to develop a set of reasonable expectations. This is where many people get it wrong. But if you can develop a set of reasonable expectations for your child, then we will not be talking about responsibility, because you already know at 3, what my child is supposed to be doing is maybe to take away plates or to hang his clothes or whatever, not arranging the room. You cannot go and tell a 3-year-old to arrange the bed and do all this. You will not do it well, and you will be getting angry over something that is unrealistic, because in truth, they can actually do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, just comment what you love below. And if you need any help with implementing any of these strategies, all you just need to do is just to let me know. Send a chat to 090756899494 to reach out to me, and I'll help you in whatever way I can. Alright, see you soon, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't want me to be on video again, just tell me. And me, I don't even like it, I'm shy. Alright then, see you, have a lovely Thursday morning.